Hi, I'm Michael Burgess from VR Fish. Alongside me is Ben Scullen, and in this video we'll be looking at how to best handle large dangerous rays to make sure that we have a simple, good release, and we're also looking after ourselves.
Shark Mates. Catch, care, conserve.
So Mike, tell us what you think you've got on now and why.
Well, it's got a fair bit of weight on there. It hasn't sort of gone for a run or anything like that just quite yet, but that's what I'm thinking. It might be a big ray or even a big banjo shark.
Okay, so a big ray or a big banjo, it hasn't got the head shakes that you'd associate with a 7-gill or a big gummy or school shark.
And just every so often it'll go for a bit of a run, and then it'll be just staying there a little bit. I've had to slightly tighten up my drag a little bit without putting too much strain on the gear, but again trying to reduce that bite as much as we can.
So we can assume that it's a ray, so this could be a dangerous animal, and we're going to have to land this fish accordingly and especially release it in the water safely. So the main point is keep the ray in the water and know that it's got a venomous spine. So there is a radius that the spine can reach you with the tail, so knowing that the bigger the ray, the larger the radius. There's no shame in releasing the ray by cutting the line or the hook in the water.
I guess one thing that rays do, sometimes they do hold on the bottom.
Well, obviously you've got a flat body coming up against the water pressure. That's like a wet plastic bag, isn't it?
It is, and I think that's really important if we're also targeting other species like snapper rather than the sharks and rays. It's important to have the gear set up so it can handle, captures such as this. What we find, Ben, is most fishers will release their large rays. Those people that do want to keep them, what would be the process?
You're going to bring the ray over the side, out of the way of everyone. We're going to use a gaff. We're going to do it quite quickly, and then we're going to humanely dispatch the ray as fast as possible.
At what point do you think we might need to either move the boat, catch up on a bit of line, or even cut the line and start again?
I think one of the guiding principles will be how far away the ray goes on the first run. If it's a big eagle ray, it's going to take a lot of line. If it's a smooth ray or a banjo shark, it'll tend to sit up and down under the boat like this. Getting position on a ray like this, if the current and the wind are the wrong way, you might have to turn the boat. Ultimately, if we stay static like this, you might treat it like the bottom and you might break the line off at the hook. With a big ray like this, there's not much point trying to bring it to the boat.
But also, if we are bringing it on board, certainly we wouldn't want to be cutting the barb off or anything like that, would we?
No. Stay away from the tail altogether and the barb.
And what's your overall advice for those people who don't have that confidence in handling large rays?
The only piece of advice, if you're not confident and you haven't caught big rays before, is to leave it in the water and to cut the hook off.
Cut the hook, or I guess there's also no shame in cutting the line as well.
Cutting the line off as close to the hook, there's certainly no shame in that. Clean him off the bottom.
Alrighty.
There we go.
So there we go. So it'll be interesting to sort of see what's left of our gear there, but it would seem we've got maybe a little bit left there.
So you've broken
here we go.
So you've broken the leader at the hook. I mean, this is as close to the hook as you want to cut away anyway, so that was a good release. Long distance release, but a good release.
So there's some tips on how to handle and release large rays, and it's important that we look after ourselves and also look after the ray at the same time. To learn more about some tips and hints of how to handle and release sharks and rays, head to sharkmates.com.au and also our YouTube channel.